Hello and welcome to Baking with Aria in Pajamas, where I crack a lot of gay jokes in pajamas. And oh, baking pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, because that's a thing we're doing today. Sorry, I can't think straight, because I'm not! So first thing we're going to do is wash our hands, because coronavirus. And then we head crooked to the baking cupboard, because I don't do straight. And let's collect our ingredients and materials. For 12 muffins, you will need 1 2/3 cups flour, 1 cup sugar, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon cloves, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of butter melted, 1 cup plain pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, 1 cup chocolate chips, a muffin tin, anti-stick baking spray or cupcake papers, and that's all. But let's be honest, I'm gay. No, well, yes, but no. Anyways, let's be honest, no one actually makes just a dozen of these. They're way too good, and I live in a family of 5, so we're actually doubling the recipe, and I would also suggest that you double the recipe that I gave you. So good that I refuse to use any recipe but the one that I stole from my friend's mom years ago. In fact, my mom accidentally threw the recipe away, and so I insisted that my friend could send me the new recipe, which she happily did. The top of the recipe actually says, "I know these sound weird, I guarantee you will love them." Kind of like what we should say to homophobes. Also, you're going to be tempted to use pumpkin pie spice instead of measuring out all the spices individually, but please don't. I promise they don't turn out as good. I don't know why, but they don't. The next thing we need to do is set the oven. Oh, wait. Make sure you adjust your oven shelves if you need to, because we don't want 2 tops and 2 bottoms, because that's a bad combination. My shelves are okay though. So the next thing you need to do is set your oven to 350. 350, there we go. And then bounce you right over to the corner. So the next thing is a cup of sugar. Again, I'm using the recipe as if I was doing 1 batch, but I'm actually doing 2, so the final product will be more than you expect it to be. All your beautiful gays, or spices, like 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, because, you know, gays are the spice of life.
Isn't pumpkin spice the spice of life?
And then a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And before you do wet ingredients, make sure that you mix your dry, and then you're ready for wet. The next thing you need to do is put in your 1/2 cup of butter, 2 eggs. So the next thing you should do is put 1 cup of plain pumpkin, and 1 can is generally 2 cups, so if you're only making 1 batch, then you should only use 1/2 the can. I'm making 2, so I'm just gonna boop. Never mind, this is not working. I need a spatula. But that's okay.
Keep going.
So then you should mix really well before you add the chocolate chips. So then finally you add the chocolate chips, which is 1 cup of chocolate chips. Technically they also say you should add a 1/2 cup of walnuts, but my brother is allergic and I don't really like them anyways. I don't really like my muffins to be crunchy generally, so it's up to you, but I don't ever put them in.
Agreed.
Once you've mixed your chocolate chips in, it's time to add our wet to our dry and fold in until ingredients are just moistened. And I know that just moistened is a really annoying instruction because no one ever knows what it means, so I would think of it as the stage of a lesbian relationship where they move in together, aka like after a few minutes. So to fold, you just gently take your spatula and just kind of do it in a circular motion. and then you eventually get to a point where most of your dry ingredients are mixed in with your wet, and then you should be good. Make sure you get the bottom. So we're almost done. The last thing you have to do is put your batter in the tins 2/3 full, which I hope that you remember to put either non-stick baking spray or muffin tins in. And then when the muffins are in, make sure you set the timer for 20 minutes. Oh, and by the way, this recipe usually makes more than it says it does. So I was supposed to make 24 are already in. I still have about at least 6 more muffins, if not another 12. So just be aware that you might end up with more muffins than you thought. Okay. To make sure they're done, you just stick a toothpick right in the middle, and if it comes out clean, you're good. And finally, it's time for a taste test. So good. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, well, don't subscribe because this is the only video I'm doing for this because it's for my music tech class. But if you like music and art and photography and lots of other things, then you should subscribe, and no matter what, like and comment, and thanks for watching. Bye.